Stop everything you're doing. This isn't clickbait. This isn't a work. What you're about to witness has cracked open the very foundation of WWE's Golden Couple, and the fallout is threatening to tear the locker room in half. The WWE Universe is in utter chaos after private footage leaked online, footage that shows Becky Lynch, yes, the man, in an unthinkable, compromising moment with another WWE superstar. Not in the ring. Not on camera. But backstage. Off script. And very, very real. That superstar? Whispers say it's Drew McIntyre. Seth Rollins, Becky's husband, and the father of her child, reportedly discovered the footage the same way fans did, scrolling Twitter. What happened next behind closed doors has ignited a backstage inferno, one that has veterans panicking, management scrambling, and fans questioning whether this is the end of one of wrestling's most celebrated love stories. Let's rewind. It all started with what was supposed to be a harmless WWE house show in Chicago. A non-televised event meant to entertain loyal fans in attendance. Becky Lynch teamed up with a mystery partner in a special tag team attraction. That partner? None other than the Scottish Warrior himself. Drew McIntyre. But after the final bell rang and the match was over, Drew did something that no one saw coming. He wrapped his arms around Becky and kissed her. Not a handshake. Not a scripted hug. A kiss. In front of the live crowd. In the middle of the ring. With cameras supposedly off. Fans were stunned. Boos echoed. And almost instantly, cell phones started recording. Within hours, the grainy footage exploded across Reddit, Twitter, Instagram. And it wasn't long before the footage found its way into the hands of Seth Rollins. According to multiple backstage sources, Seth was not just blindsided, he was livid. One WWE staffer described him as completely unhinged. Another said he had to be physically pulled away from confronting Drew McIntyre. Monday Night Raw's locker room was reportedly frozen with tension, with superstars too afraid to speak to Rollins, unsure of what to say, or whether to say anything at all. Now here's where things get even darker. Insiders are divided. Some claim Becky immediately pulled away from the kiss, shocked. Others believe she leaned into it. There's even speculation that this wasn't the first time something like this happened between them. And now, eagle-eyed fans are digging deeper. Photos from the last European tour where Becky was present, but Seth wasn't, are being analyzed like crime scene evidence. Fans are cross-referencing schedules, backstage interviews, even flight manifests, hunting for proof of something more between Becky and Drew. Some say they were too close. Others dismiss it as coincidence. But the leak, whether accidental or calculated, has changed everything. And the mystery only grows. Who leaked the footage? Was it a disgruntled employee with a grudge? A rival promotion planting chaos? Or was this a sick power move to destabilize WWE's Golden Couple right before SummerSlam? WWE's silence is deafening. No official comment. No clarification. No press release. Behind the scenes, sources say the company is in full-blown crisis mode. Legal teams have been activated. Contracts are being reviewed. Security has been ramped up. And management is scrambling to figure out whether this scandal will force them to rebook major matches, rewrite months of storylines, and potentially shelf some of their biggest stars. Seth Rollins is one of WWE's top merchandise sellers. Becky Lynch is arguably the biggest female name in pro wrestling today. Drew McIntyre is the face of the company's international expansion. If this triangle spirals out of control, the financial impact could be devastating. And then there's the human cost. Seth and Becky have a daughter. A family. A real life. Behind the glitz and glamour of the WWE Universe, these are people. Parents, now under public siege. As fans, it's easy to forget that. To treat this as entertainment. To meme it. But this isn't a storyline crafted in Stamford. This is raw, unfiltered betrayal, real or perceived, playing out on the global stage. Wrestlers are taking sides. Locker room trust is breaking down. Some are speaking out. Others are staying silent, hoping not to be caught in the blast radius. Even industry legends are reportedly stepping in to calm the storm. Names like John Cena, The Undertaker, Triple H. But if the rumors are true, even their voices are being drowned out by the tidal wave of fallout. And then there's the question no one wants to ask: what if there's more? What if this was just the tip of the iceberg? Wrestling journalists have been working around the clock. Dave Meltzer, Mike Johnson, and Sean Ross Sapp are all hinting at more shocking revelations, whispers of texts, calls, even additional footage that hasn't surfaced yet. This could become the biggest scandal in WWE's modern history. Not because of a kiss, but because of the consequences. Careers could be ruined. Trust shattered. A marriage potentially beyond repair. And all of it happening right as WWE enters one of the most commercially crucial seasons of the year. Now, the WWE Universe stands at a crossroads. Do we treat this as just another viral wrestling drama? Or do we recognize the real pain behind the headlines? No matter what side you're on, Team Seth, Team Becky, or Team Truth, one thing is certain. WWE will never be the same after this. And neither will we. Let's talk about the kiss. The act itself lasted seconds. But the impact? It could last a lifetime. As of this moment, Drew McIntyre has not issued a public statement. Becky Lynch has gone dark on social media. Seth Rollins? Silent. And yet, the noise around them is deafening. WWE officials are now locked behind closed doors trying to figure out how to move forward. According to Backstage sources, there was a scheduled creative meeting to finalize the SummerSlam card, and that meeting? Cancelled. Scrapped completely. Why? Because the main event might have just self-destructed. One version of the SummerSlam plan involved Seth Rollins defending a major title against a returning megastar. Another angle was being developed around Becky Lynch potentially challenging for the Women's World Championship. But both plans reportedly required the couple to make public appearances together and appear united. That may no longer be possible. And here's where things go from scandalous to catastrophic. Behind the scenes, WWE writers are split. Some believe this is a PR nightmare. Others? They see opportunity. They're floating ideas, twisting the real-life scandal into storyline gold. One draft? Becky turns heel. Another version? Seth goes on a revenge arc. A third pitch? An intergender feud with Drew McIntyre, blurring the lines between fiction and reality. But there's one problem. Seth reportedly doesn't want any of it. According to a source close to the creative team, Rollins shut down all storylines that even hinted at the situation. He's not doing it, the insider said. This isn't a gimmick to him. This is his life. His marriage. His family. And who can blame him? In a business where personal lives are often sacrificed for pop, Rollins has always drawn a clear line between the man in the ring and the man at home. That line has now been violently crossed. And there's no easy way back. Backstage, the air is thick with paranoia. Superstars are reportedly covering locker room cameras. Some are refusing to speak unless phones are off. Trust is collapsing in real time. And then there's the Whisper Network. Veterans murmuring about past incidents. Rookies afraid they'll be next. Producers suddenly reviewing months of backstage footage. Everyone asking the same question: how did this leak happen? Because that's still the greatest mystery of all. Who recorded it? Who uploaded it? And who wanted the world to see it? Some theories suggest it was just a fan who caught the moment on a livestream and posted it without realizing the consequences. Others claim it was someone inside WWE. A saboteur. A rival. Someone trying to take down a faction of the locker room with one well-placed strike. But the most terrifying theory? That someone knew exactly what they were doing, and wanted this to go viral. And viral it went. The footage has already racked up over 15 million views across platforms. The hashtags #BeckyGate, #Sethered, and #DrewDidIt have trended globally for 72 hours. TikToks, podcasts, parodies, reaction videos. Everyone is talking. And that includes sponsors. One source from inside a marketing agency that represents several WWE partners says there is already concern about Becky and Seth's marketability. It's not about guilt, the source says. It's about image. Brands want stability. This doesn't look stable. It's not just merchandise. It's not just contracts. It's legacy. For years, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch have been portrayed as the perfect couple. Two warriors. Two champions. Two parents. A symbol of strength and unity in a cutthroat business. That image is now cracked, maybe beyond repair. And what about Drew? While he hasn't commented publicly, the backstage atmosphere around him is shifting fast. Some wrestlers reportedly won't speak to him. Others are avoiding being booked in segments with him. A handful have even refused to be in the same dressing room. One anonymous wrestler texted a journalist the words, "He crossed the line." Another said, "This wasn't heat. This was betrayal." And yet, there are some who defend him. Some who believe Drew didn't act alone. A few are even whispering that Becky knew what was coming. That this was a moment pre-planned, rehearsed backstage, and taken too far in public. There's no evidence to support this. But in the world of wrestling, rumor spreads faster than truth. The few still defending Becky Lynch argue that she was caught off guard, that her reaction was pure shock, and that she deserves the benefit of the doubt. But critics aren't backing down. They're demanding answers. And WWE? Still silent. So where does that leave us? Right now, the wrestling world is in a tailspin. Locker rooms are divided. Fans are turning on each other. Journalists are circling like sharks. And the reputations of three top-tier talents are hanging by a thread. We are standing in the eye of the storm. And this is only the beginning. New footage. New statements. New consequences. All of it could drop at any moment. And when it does, the damage could extend far beyond these three individuals. This could change the way WWE handles privacy forever. This could change how wrestlers trust each other behind the scenes. This could, if we're being honest, change the future of Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, and Drew McIntyre as top stars. And yet, despite all of it, fans are still watching. Still hoping. Still waiting to see if this was just a mistake, or the collapse of everything we thought we knew about WWE's most powerful relationship. The next move? It's theirs. But make no mistake, what happens now will be remembered for years. But what if I told you? This wasn't just about a kiss? What if that now infamous moment in the ring was simply the trigger, one that revealed something far more fragile, far more fractured than any of us realized? Sources now claim that the marriage between Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins may have been showing signs of strain long before Chicago. Private tensions. Separate schedules. Moments of distance. According to people close to the couple, it wasn't always picture perfect behind the scenes. People see them together on TV and assume they're fine, one backstage insider explained. But for months now, they've been drifting. Different bookings, different priorities. WWE kept putting them on separate tours. It was only a matter of time. And if that's true, if the fairy tale had already begun to unravel, then maybe that kiss wasn't a betrayal, but a bomb that blew the truth wide open. Still, no one could have predicted the backlash. Not from fans. Not from media. And certainly not from within the company. In the days following the footage leak, WWE headquarters was reportedly flooded with calls, some from furious fans demanding answers, others from journalists, and a surprising number from corporate sponsors. One global brand manager, who had recently greenlit a campaign featuring both Becky and Seth, reportedly froze the project indefinitely. "We can't risk the optics right now," they said. "We don't know what's real and what's not. And that's the core issue here, isn't it? What's real? What's work? What's personal? What's performance?" For decades, WWE blurred the line between character and human being. But in this case, the line doesn't just blur, it shatters. Because we're not watching a scripted feud. We're watching a family, possibly falling apart in real time. And in the court of public opinion, that distinction no longer matters. Social media continues to churn out memes, mockery, and armchair analysis. Some say Seth should forgive. Others say Becky's career is over. And Drew? He's being dragged daily, some fans calling for suspension, others for termination. But what fans don't see are the faces behind the headlines. Seth Rollins, reportedly refusing to speak to creative. Missing meetings. Withdrawing from press commitments. Wrestling with more than just a fractured storyline, wrestling with betrayal, public humiliation, and possibly heartbreak. Becky Lynch, shielded from the cameras. Some insiders say she's furious about how the situation spiraled. Others say she's trying to repair the damage privately. But in every version, she's silent, and that silence has only fueled the fire. And Drew McIntyre? He's showing up. He's doing his job. But even those closest to him admit, he's changed. He's colder. Distant. Walking into arenas flanked by security. Keeping his head down, eyes forward. And yet, the tension is inescapable. One source described the backstage vibe at Raw as Cold War. Every hallway, every glance, every interaction feels loaded. Producers have had to reassign segments. Tag matches restructured. Locker room pairings reshuffled. Some wrestlers are flat out refusing to work with certain names. "It's like a virus," a backstage official said. "No one wants to touch this. But no one can ignore it." Meanwhile, the fans keep watching. They want answers. They want a villain. They want closure. But in real life, the ending isn't always clear. And in WWE, the lines are even murkier. Which begs the question: how much of this is real? How much of this is now being weaponized for story? And if WWE decides to lean into the scandal, are we watching truth? Or tragedy dressed up as television? Insiders say the creative team is already divided. One half wants to pull away, give the situation space, avoid fanning the flames. The other half? They see numbers. Engagement. Interest. They see an opportunity. And the rumor is, Vince McMahon, yes, even in his diminished day-to-day role, has weighed in. His alleged words? "If it's real, it's money." That quote alone has shaken people internally. Because it suggests a willingness to turn this personal implosion into professional profit. But doing so could destroy careers. It could destroy relationships. And it might even destroy trust in WWE's ability to draw the line between entertainment and exploitation. There's already talk of a meeting, a private sit-down between Seth, Becky, and WWE's top brass. The purpose? To decide how to proceed. Do they write it out silently? Do they address it publicly? Do they turn it into a storyline? Or do they separate, in every sense of the word? And while that conversation hasn't happened yet, insiders say it's coming. Because it has to. This scandal is growing louder, not quieter. And the longer WWE waits, the more people start filling in the silence with their own narratives. That's the danger of the internet. The truth doesn't always survive the noise. And the noise right now? It's deafening. So what happens next? Will Seth Rollins walk away from WWE? Will Becky Lynch address the rumors? Will Drew McIntyre be punished or promoted? And most importantly, will the truth ever actually come out? Because right now, we don't know what was planned, what was spontaneous, or what was completely off the rails. But we do know this. Whatever trust existed between these three superstars is gone. Whatever bond existed between Seth and Becky is fractured. And whatever order once existed behind the scenes in WWE has collapsed into pure chaos. This isn't over. Not by a long shot. They say every scandal has two sides. But this one? It has layers. Twisted layers. And now, we're entering territory that even WWE's most chaotic storylines would dare not tread. Because what started as a single leaked video has now grown into something far more sinister, whispers of a setup, theories of backstage sabotage, and claims that the footage we all saw may not have been the whole story. According to one anonymous WWE employee, there's more footage. Footage the public hasn't seen. Footage that was allegedly captured on a different backstage camera, one with full audio. The employee claims it shows not just the kiss, but a full exchange between Becky and Drew. And in that version? The narrative shifts. Radically. That footage, if it exists, could change everything. If Becky was caught off guard, the audio could prove it. If Drew acted alone, the context might absolve her. But if the opposite is true, if the exchange was flirtatious, mutual, or worse, premeditated, then we're staring down the barrel of a full-blown implosion of the WWE's most powerful couple. So why hasn't that second video surfaced? Some say WWE is holding it back. Others believe it was quietly deleted the moment the first clip went viral. But a few sources are pushing a more dangerous theory, one that could point to an inside job. According to this theory, someone, perhaps a frustrated talent, a disillusioned staff member, or even a creative insider, leaked the footage on purpose. Why? To take down Seth Rollins. The motive? Resentment. Because whether fans realize it or not, Seth Rollins has built quiet enemies over the years, resentful of his spot, his push, his proximity to power. Some insiders claim that jealousy in the locker room has simmered for years. That certain stars believe Seth is untouchable. That he's protected. Favored. This scandal, they say, was the perfect storm. A moment of real-life vulnerability turned into an attack from the shadows. And Drew? He's not off the hook either. Another wild theory spreading in internal circles is that Drew McIntyre's contract negotiations played a role. Rumors had already been swirling for months that Drew was unhappy, underpaid, creatively stifled, and underutilized. Could this incident have been a desperate attempt to force the company's hand? A play for relevance? Or something darker, a deliberate act to sabotage a rival's reputation in the middle of a personal crisis? Nobody knows. But everyone has a theory. And in a business like WWE, where reality and fiction blend into one blurred, dangerous cocktail, conspiracy travels fast. Now, add the legal element. Entertainment law experts have started weighing in, and they are not sugarcoating their assessments. If